Welcome. Sit down, roll up, pour up, turn up and tune in. Because you're now watching the Buncher Bull Network.
What up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast, down here at a bunch of Bull Studios like we do every Saturday. And tonight, I got a special guest in the house with me. Got my man, Dude, in the building. What's going on, brother?
Chilling, man. How you doing today?
Oh, man, I'm doing amazing, doing lovely. Glad to be here. I usually like to kick off the podcast by saying how I was introduced to the artist or creator that I have on the podcast for you, your family. You know what I mean? You're a network friend, and I met you through the Bunch of Bull Network. We were doing a podcast originally with Greg. You guys were doing, what was the name of it at that time?
Vision Talks. Yeah,
Vision Talks. You were doing Vision Talks, and then you went on to be one of the members of the Stash Spot podcast that we have down here.
Blast on Stash Spot too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Too.
A lot of fun, right? We had a pretty good time. We just came from Ohio with a special episode of Stash Spot, which was super dope as well. But yeah, man, I'm glad to have you on, man. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling great, bro. Yeah, like the first time coming around here was on Vision Talks, and that was just really the first podcast I ever did in general. Really,
Yeah.
Never did a podcast prior to that. Prior to that, though, I had been in and out of a handful of other studios and worked, like, just making music and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm still looking forward to making music here whenever we work things out. I know
Yeah.
Jesse's been working that out.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. So when you first started doing the podcast and you had an opportunity to do it, was it something that you were looking forward to doing prior to that? Is that something that just kind of came about for you? How did that like first experience? How did that come about for you?
Well, it's kind of funny, honestly. Like, I didn't even know Greg for like all that long. He just kind of came up out of nowhere in my life and was asking me about making music and stuff. And so we started making music for a bit, and then out of nowhere, he just asked if I wanted to do a podcast here. Introduced me to Jesse. We started coming down here, and I was really excited to do it at the beginning, and then once I heard about Stash Spot, that was what I was looking forward to the most, really, because I want to work with weed.
Yeah, yeah. You always been like a fan of the weed culture? Or are you more of a like connoisseur, or are you just more of a casual consumer?
Connoisseur, for sure, definitely a connoisseur. And I feel like my music is gonna be, for the most part, like in that realm, you know,
like stoner vibes.
Yeah, good for people to smoke to, or even trip to. I like psychedelics too.
Yeah,
So
yeah, me
I'm
too. I like psychedelics, bro.
Hell yeah, you like mushrooms?
Yeah, hell yeah. We talked about a little bit about that off camera. Like I was big into mushrooms, but like my stomach doesn't agree with me anymore when it comes to mushrooms.
For
It's
sure.
hard for me to.
I find that to be a lot of most people's issue, because it's similar to alcohol. It's like you're technically poisoning yourself.
Yeah. But I found other ways to consume it. Just talking to a lot of friends in the space. I have a lot of friends who are in that space in a big way, in the medicinal and mental health area of it as well. And one of the suggestions that I heard the most was put it in tea. It's a lot smoother for you in tea.
It really works.
Yeah, I tried it, and it was a great time, and it was certainly here you go.
Oh yeah, thank you.
It was certainly effective. You know what I mean? As well as effective, it didn't bother my stomach at all. I found if I eat it like also I had a candy bar once. A friend of mine made
Now those are crazy. I feel like sometimes now correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like sometimes those have something else going on in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Depending on who you get it from.
Yeah, no, it was a friend of mine who made the candy bar. He
Okay, that's legit.
Yeah, he actually grew the mushrooms himself, and he made the chocolate himself. And yeah, bro, I went to a whole different planet. Which, when I say that, like I usually if I'm doing like a psychedelic, I have every intent on like taking a journey. I don't like to. I shouldn't say that. Sometimes I like to trip just to trip.
Well, that's how it should be, man.
But most of the time, I like to trip to discover myself, to better discover myself.
That's the best way to do it. I feel like, and like that's something I feel like I'm trying to work into my music more so in the future. I want I want people to be able to listen to my music and think about like certain situations in their life too, and think
Yeah.
like, you know, that reminds me of when I remember or when I discovered this about myself, or when I changed, you know what I mean, or whatever. Like changes in your life come about the most, I think, when you experience a really good high sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, no, I agree with that, dude. I know for me, that was certainly the case. It wasn't mushrooms was the first one. It was MDMA or ecstasy, if you will, was the first one for me that really gave me different perspective.
Hell yeah, I've only experienced that one time
Really?
before. Yeah, it was an experience, I will say.
Yeah, that was the
crazy.
first one for me that really opened up my mind. And I find whenever I take psychedelics of any kind, it makes me want to be more natural.
For sure.
Like
Music
I
has
try
started.
not to like drink on them or anything. Like I'm usually in the water, and that sticks with me for a while after I'm done with it. Like I try to purify my body. It's really, like I said, for me, it's like a spiritual experience, if you will. Like it's
Yeah.
more of a, like I said, a journey for me as opposed to just trying to trip to get high. You know what I mean? I
It
always
brings
try
you
to make it
like back to
experience.
your roots, you know. It's a
Yeah.
good way to remember yourself.
Now you said when you first met Greg, you just started doing music. Is that
Well, no, so at that point in time, really I had been already looking for a while for people around here to work with and to make music with. You know what I mean?
you
Like,
were already making music
of
yourself, like
course.
individually?
Yeah, I was writing a lot, and I had
Okay.
so I got a Studio One system when I was like 16, and I mean I met Greg just a few years ago when I was like what 24, so I had that system for already like 8 years.
Right.
Recorded a lot of different things with a lot of friends. I had shout out like there was a couple different people that got to record at my place. I'm pretty sure Mulu even got to
Okay.
out here. So like
Yeah.
like when I first started, when I first put it up,
Hmm.
when I first set it up, and
You were doing all the recording yourself?
yeah, for the most part, it was all me or my brother. My
Okay.
brother Jonathan is who got me into music.
For sure. We
He's
see y'all out there chat. What's up, everybody?
yeah. What's up?
I can't read the comment because I can't see. Not that
It's
I
a
can.
nice refresh. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Oh, for sure.
But oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Good
It
point,
is.
Jesse. I'm glad you kept up. Yeah. So you said you were already recording for a little while before that. So you kind of had to like self teach yourself how to do all that, how to go about all the whole process.
Yeah, learning on Studio One was rough. I will say, like shout out to anybody that had to do anything with a computer before things like FL came
Yeah.
along and stuff like that, Pro Tools, because those DAWs made it so much easier. They
Yeah.
made it so much easier. Like
A lot more user friendly.
absolutely. And now I have FL and I use FL. And I have like a little home studio set up. But for the most part, when it comes to recording right now, currently, I like to go to ID Labs. Shout out ID Labs, Ciccarelli and Tucci. Those are my
Engineers.
two main engineers I like to work with there. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that
Kai. Kai's cool too.
yeah, that was one of my first studios as well. I've been going there for a long time.
Yeah, I know
Yeah, so
you guys
definitely
have been there for a while.
shout out to ID Labs for sure. Now, so for the people that's hearing your name for the first time, how would you describe your sound without like using general labels? Like, what would you say best describes your sound?
Right now, currently, it's a good question. I don't know. Let me think. I want to say like, I want to say psychedelic, but not like because I make rap right now for the most part.
Right.
But there's a lot of music that I plan on making. You
Right.
know what I mean? I don't just plan on making rap, and but I don't ever like consider like rap to be like some people. I feel like way too many people will consider rap to be kind of like not a bad thing, but
Yeah.
they look down on it in an artistry like sense.
Yeah.
But rap stands for rhythm and poetry, you know,
Mhm.
and so like I feel like it's just as comparable to doing rock and things like that because
Yeah.
you can also mix the two.
Yeah, for sure
So
you can.
I'm for sure planning on doing the two, and for now I'll say psychedelic. I'll say psychedelic. That's what I'm
Psychedelic is the
saying.
best way
For
to
sure.
sum it up. Now, you said you think people look down at it. Like you think like musicians in general look down at on hip hop.
I don't know if they say. I'd say they look down on it where it is more as it's just kind of like that's like some people's starting point and they want to grow from there, and I understand
That
that,
does
but
seem to
it's
be a
it's
theme as of late. I
it
would say.
happens a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
you notice that it happens a lot, and I feel like at the end of the day, if you're really passionate about it, it can be something you do your whole life. It could be something that's always good.
Yeah, I think most of us listen to multiple genres, right? So I think it's natural for an artist to want to progress and grow and evolve. I guess would be the best word. We want to evolve, and we don't always want to keep the same sound. But it's so often that the curse of it is if you get popular for a certain sound, people are going to want to hear that sound from you.
Yeah.
So when you start evolving as an artist, people may think that you're selling out or you're not staying true to your roots because you're exploring different sounds. So I can see how you would say that people use it as a starting point. But whenever I think of it, the first person come to mind to me is Jelly Roll. Is a big one because Jelly Roll was very much a hip hop artist whenever he started. He started with Haystack. I heard about Jelly Roll a long time ago. I'm a big Haystack fan.
Yeah. That's fire.
And the first time I seen Jelly Roll was on a Haystack DVD, and he was rapping. It was his famous 10-minute rap. If my PO asks, I hang drywall. That one. And
I know what you're talking about.
after and whenever I heard about his new emergence, I didn't even realize it was the same Jelly Roll. People kept talking about this country singer Jelly Roll, and I was like, damn. I was
Gotta
like,
be a
it's no
different
way it's the
name.
same Jelly Roll that's doing. And then, sure enough, it was the same Jelly Roll. But if you think about it, to be fair, because I've heard people say that Jelly Roll is sold out. I've heard that narrative. But if you think about it, he's a dude from Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee is very much country based.
And he just got nominated for a Grammy, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
believe he won a Grammy. Actually, I
yeah,
believe he won a
he's
Grammy.
doing great, man. And I mean, even like I think health wise, he's doing better now than he was before. So that's good. But I know what you mean when it comes down to it. Like some people will change their name. They'll use like different aliases. Like I know there's like Tara Reid and Getter. They're both the same person, but one makes dubstep and one's a rapper.
Right.
So like you could do that, or like what Jelly Roll did, you could just keep the same name and stick to it. But I feel like when you do that, you have to truly change and you have to stick to the change.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were able to have multiple aliases, like that's something I feel like I'm capable of doing for sure in the future. Like there's Dude, and then I'm gonna have probably other aliases that I run like rock and whatnot through. You know?
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's a cool thing too. I remember a friend of mine once said, whenever you're an artist, you should think of yourself like an action figure. Have different pieces for people to go through. Have this the underwater, the outer space, But
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Different presets, if you will, but of what you want to be, so people can pick and choose what they want. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think sometimes it's perceived as a bad thing that you may go into different genres or dip in it. Like I said, but as an artist, that's a fun thing to do. You might be a fan of something and you might be inspired by something and you might want to experiment with that sound. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily selling out. And sometimes through experimentation, you might become popular with that sound and find out this is truly my niche.
Okay.
And then you might run with that. And I think artists have. I mean, MGK is another one, right?
Yep.
He got real popular in the rock space whenever he started experimenting with rock.
And he was good at it.
Yeah.
And he was good at it, admittedly. You know, he just should have never talked shit on him. Yeah, for real.
For
That
sure.
was just a big mistake. But
Yeah, M's my favorite, one of my favorites for sure, top 5.
yeah, real shit. Like, since we're talking about it real quick, that's
Yeah, no, for sure.
he was one of the very first artists I ever listened to where I really sat down and realized like, okay, I like rap,
Yeah,
and I can like not only say that I like rap, but I'm capable of creating it. You know what I mean? Because I would sit there and rap his songs word for word, back to back, and
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of us did, But then I would sit there and I would write songs.
you would be
and-
inspired by what you were hearing to the point that you wanted to write your own
exactly,
songs.
and I would
yeah.
write my own stuff and just write what was on my mind, and I realized quickly that I'm like, I'm not bad at this, and
Yeah.
so I started doing it. And my friends would tell me the same thing too. I mean, some of them tried to do it, and they were admittedly not good at it, but they would tell me that I am, so I stuck to it. I
That
always
one of the
stuck to
things that kept you going is your friends motivating you and saying like, man, you are good at this. Like,
Yeah, there was plenty of times. I will say that, honestly, shout out Young Sneezy, shout out Hunter, people like them,
Yeah.
people like even prior to them. I was working with Cordell Aldridge. Not a lot of people would probably know that name, but if he ever sees this, he would be like, "Yo, can't believe he even remembers me." He was working with Trilzy from up in Pittsburgh, and they were who like really like introduced me to like drill and trap music and stuff like that. And that was just a whole different aspect of my life too. A lot of different things that led me down the path that I'm on.
Yeah, rest in peace to Trilogy for sure.
Rest in peace to Trilogy. Rest in peace.
Absolutely. Now, where where were you mentally and like creatively whenever you made your first song that felt like it was real to you? Like this is like a real song. Like I got something here.
Uh, Funny enough, I think it would have been. I'm trying to think here. Well, okay, my first one was "Acid" by The Sheet. That was the name of it because of a verse that was in the song, but we changed it because that was just a little controversial. But that one I made in my studio. I had a studio in Denora.
Okay.
For a while. It was only open for like 5 6 months. We named it Fifth Dimension Studios, and really the whole idea behind it was to have people come down there, artists alike, local people that wanted to be creative. We painted the whole walls inside there. Like we drew our names, like everybody's names inside of there. Lots of people got to experience that place. But yeah, my first actual song I wrote and recorded in there was "Acid" by The Sheet, and I really liked that song. It was good, and I sat back and listened to it plenty of times, smoked to it a bunch of times, and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this for sure.
Yeah.
And everybody there was bumping it too, so it was good.
What was it about that song, as opposed to the songs that you made prior, that made you feel like what was different about that song than other songs that you made prior
It
that gave you that feeling?
from start to finish, it didn't. There was never a point in time where it gave me like secondhand embarrassment. You know what I mean? Like there was times where no matter how many times I'd play a song to myself in my headphones, I'd read the lyrics, it would be good, but then when I'd play it out loud and there was people around, I would just feel like a type of way. You know what I mean?
You have like a cringe moment with them.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, I shouldn't have said this in the song. I shouldn't have said that. That song, from start to finish, everyone's head bumping. It just felt right. You know what I mean? And from there, I've made plenty more. Like I've featured in songs that I've liked. "Lovely Assault" featuring in that with Zay, Tay, I think TK, yeah, TK and Greg, and then MDHD or ADHD. Fuck, I'm trying to remember the name. I'm sorry.
No, you good, bro.
Can't remember the name of it, but it was me, Greg, and Sneezy. It was a good song too. My verse in that song was fire.
Yeah. Now, you said that song was different for you. You said it wasn't as cringe in that moment. Like, did that song kind of shape your sound moving forward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. From that point forward, I realized that like my best bet when it came to writing and everything and making the music in general was to come up with like how I wanted the song to start,
Yeah.
and then kind of go from the top of my head from there.
Okay.
Which like for some people sounds scary or sounds like it might not always work, but for me personally, that's what I've found like to work.
To be the
every
best,
time.
yeah, for you.
It works best for me, and so I'll have like I'll just start with like 8 bars, like 8 verses, and then go from there. And it always goes smooth from there. I have like probably now around 7 good songs in store, and I'm planning on releasing an album around 420 this year, so April 20th. If I don't get it finalized by then exactly, then it'll be like right around the beginning of summer. So
How far along are you in that project? Are you halfway, quarter way?
I would say right now we're a quarter way, but that's only because of the weather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as soon as it gets warm, man, I'm gonna be hitting the studio a lot more. I'm gonna be, shout out Slim too, Slim Boogie. I'll be working with you too, bro. I'm gonna be working with you too.
Yeah, man, for sure. Now, what's something about you that a listener wouldn't guess from listening to your music?
Um, probably wouldn't guess that I'm eventually going to make things like rock,
Okay.
or even other genres. You know what I mean? I have yet to figure out what all exactly I would like to make. Um, but yeah, if you listen to like some of my rap right now, you probably would be like, he's not planning on making
Yeah.
he's not planning on making anything different. You know?
Yeah. Now, did you have a lot of different influences musically growing up?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So like my dad's like a real heavy into rock and like metal and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like it was Rob Zombie, Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, Stone Temple Pilots, shit like that. Growing
Yeah.
up listening to shit like that with him in
That's
the
not
car.
even the same type of rock either.
No, it's all different rock. He
Yeah.
was listening to everything. It was your like dad rock to like the old school shit to
Yeah.
whatever. And then uh, my brother started the band with his buddy Jake, Northern Gold, and they're still making music to this day. Actually,
Shout out to bro.
yeah. Shout out to my brother Jonathan, Northern Gold. I should be hopefully in the future at some point. I would like to talk to them about even doing vocals with them. You know, so,
Collaborating with him on some stuff.
yeah,
For
collaborating
sure.
with them. So that's a good rock opportunity right there.
Yeah.
But my mom listened to like the Beatles, you know what I mean? So I listened to them a lot too, jazz, things like that. My mom was what really put me on to like the soul, you know what I mean, in music. Like she put me on to jazz and um, she taught me about like polka and shit like that my grandma and my grandfather would listen to.
So
Just
you had a lot of
crazy
music
stuff.
in the household growing up.
Tons of music in the household. Yeah, it was a big influence.
Yeah. How do they feel about your music today? Are they fans of your music? Do they listen to it? Do they criticize or critique it at all?
Yeah, so funny enough, like my mom actually loves my music.
Mm-hmm.
Just recently, I showed her my newest song, and I showed you guys in the car. But
Yeah.
you guys are totally right. The bass needs fixed. I'm gonna fix it. But on the speaker at my house, it didn't sound so bad, and she loved it, man. So that was cool. My dad criticizes the hell out of it. My dad's like, I don't like it. It's no good. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna check your videos. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
promotion thing.
One of those things. Yeah. So you said he's a little bit hypercritical of the music. Was it were you nervous letting them listen to it for the first time? Were you nervous letting them hear your music for the first time?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. At first, it was kind of like just like I feel like he's not even gonna want to hear the rest of it. You know what I mean? I was afraid he was gonna not even sit through it, but he sat through it and he respected it. You know, but like overall, I know he doesn't like it. Like if in the future I'm making more, he's gonna he'll like it. You know what I mean? He'll comment on my stuff. He's gonna give me support, but he's not gonna sit there and listen to it on his own
In his
time.
leisure,
Yeah,
yeah.
in his leisure, in his own time.
Do you think he'll be more inclined to if you were to, and when you do decide to like genre hop, do you think he'll be more inclined to listen to it then?
For sure. I think if I make rock, I think that he would even be somewhat interested in maybe hopping on it. You know what I mean? He'd be
Yeah.
like, hey, let me play the guitar or the drums or whatever. Who knows? I don't know what kind of talent Pops has, but
Yeah.
you know, uh, my mom's mainly talented when it comes to art. She's a painter.
Okay, she's a visual artist.
Visual artist, very
Yeah.
much so.
Yeah.
She does painting. She does paint pours as well. We sell paint pours. If anyone's ever interested in one, you can DM me on my Instagram for one.
Yeah, now while we're there, why don't you tell the people how to get a hold of you, how to follow you, if they want to see your journey, if people want to collaborate with you or producers want to send you beats, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So y'all can look me up on YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. It's all my name, just Joel Barish. Or Dude. You can find me with Dude on Instagram, probably, possibly within YouTube. But I would just look up my name on YouTube. You'll find me with the round glasses, John Lemon Diesel type shit.
Yeah, man. For sure. Definitely make sure y'all do that. Now, you began to do this a little bit early on, but why don't you walk me through your process? Like, are you a beat first guy or are you a lyric first guy? I know you said you like to go a few bars at a time to get it, but what is your creative process now? In fact, why don't you take me from what your creative process used to be when you first started to what it is now?
That's a great question. So my creative process used to be just to sit and write down, like the whole song has to be written from start to finish.
This is
And
before
then
you even know what type of beat that you want or anything?
yeah, like this was before I even knew really what I was doing. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I started writing when I was about 15, and I would write out like a bunch of lyrics, and then I would start searching for a beat, and I would start rapping them to it, and a lot of times it would take me hours to find a beat that matched what I wrote, right? And so then I'm like, okay, eventually over time doing that, I'm like, I'm gonna find a beat, listen to it for a while, and if I like it, then I'm gonna write to it and go bar for bar. And that worked obviously way better. And
Right.
since then, I mean, that's pretty much always the way I do it. I find a good beat and then I work on it from there.
How'd you figure out structure? Does that's something that you is that something that someone helped you with, or is that something that you just kind of figured out on your own?
No one helped me with that, but that's also a great question because I'll say if if you look at some of my old phones, like I could show you the way I wrote back when I was younger to the way I write now, like you could see that I've progressed.
Right.
I found structure.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what structure was in the lyricism aspect. Like at the beginning, it was just write a paragraph, sounds good. You know what I mean? Now I try my best to work a chorus into each song, even if I'm not going to use it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then it's always good to have.
Yeah.
And then if I have a collaborator, they could always
Filling
sing
that
over
filling that part of it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, for sure. I mean that is a thing whenever you're first making music is figuring out structure and how those things go because you really I mean you got an idea. You know songs have a chorus or a hook, in them. You know they have verses in them, but you don't know how to go about doing that. So it's always interesting to get into that, that aspect of it. Now, what kind of headspace do you need to be to like make your best music? Is there a certain vibe you have to have? Do you have to are you a person that just waits for it to come to you or do you try to force the process sometimes and do you have like a ritual that you go through to in order to do that?
So I hate forcing the process. Um, there will be times where, say, like in the next month or so, wanting to put out this album, I'm gonna probably possibly force myself to make a song or two at some point that I want to have done. I'm not gonna make sure. I mean, I'm gonna make sure that it's genuine. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna force it to where it's like not gonna sound good.
Right.
But um, lost my train of thought for a second there.
Your process, your creative process. How do you need to be in a certain mind space to create?
Yeah, so that's the thing too. I'm not gonna lie, it sounds kind of crazy, but I do need to eat mushrooms a lot
Okay.
of times. Like I'll say that like psychedelics help me get creative,
Hmm.
um, and it won't always be like in the moment. Like when I eat them, like I'll eat them, I'll trip, and then like a day or so later, out of nowhere, this just
Inspiration comes.
flash of inspiration will come, and all these verses will hit me, and I'm like okay, and I start writing.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it works. For me, I'm just kind of different, but I guess all artists are different.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting. So it kind of lends more towards you describing yourself as a you like to work with the with the medicines in the music. Describing yourself in that way. And it seems like a lot of people are getting into like the psilocybin and the mushrooms and the different uh, tripping um, stuff, if you will, the psychotropics, if you will. People are getting more into them now. They're getting more aware. It seemed like they had like a bad stigma for a while. People were always worried about getting like stuck in a trip.
Yeah, they did, and it's sad that they did because I feel like they really do help writer's block, and they just help a lot of different things,
Yeah,
for people. But yeah, I like to like overall consider myself like a multidisciplinary artist when it comes to like what I make and what I do. And if for those of you that don't know like what that is, that's like I like to incorporate different forms of art all into what I'm doing.
hmm,
It's like um, a lot of artists could be considered that and might not even realize it
right.
really. Um, and eventually, I'm considering like incorporating like my paintings and stuff like that into my art, like my
You do
album
visual art as
covers and
well.
stuff like that. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do some of the paint pours. Some of the ones that you can see on my Instagram, those are mine. I've done. some of the first ones, like the first and the second one I posted.
For sure. For sure. Now, do you ever make music that you know won't drop anyway, but you just need to make it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We've made like fun songs. Trying to think of the name of the one song. Can't remember what it was called. TV Bandit. Shout out TV Bandit. We made some fun songs, just dumb, random songs for fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, never getting released. Like
Yeah.
I'll just listen to it for myself.
Yeah, for your own pleasure. Now, what's a sound or idea that you're experimenting with right now that excites you?
Um, so an idea is I doing the paint pours. I've been doing them on canvases, just like normal painting and whatnot. And I've been thinking about different ways to incorporate the music in with the paint pours, and so I'm thinking about soon doing paint pours on records. So I'm gonna buy like stacks of records, like old ones that aren't gonna be used anymore. Spin them around and dry the paint on them. Once they're done, they'll look pretty cool, I think. If people wanted to sign their name on it, have custom stuff done,
That's
that's a
dope.
good idea. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, that is a good idea.
And then when it comes to the music, my next step after this album with the rap, like the hip hop, is I really want to do R&B. I don't want to just like transcend boom right into rock. You know what I mean? Because I want to do that at some point. I want to touch base with that genre, but I'm gonna do rap for a while first and just stick to it and let people hear that
Get to
side
know
of me.
you as that.
Get to know me first. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Now, how important is the image and the aesthetic in the way you present your music, especially being a visual artist? Is it important?
It's very important, I think, because your image and aesthetic is really what makes you you, for the most part. While your music can be good and people can like it a lot, people are gonna want to see you, and like love them to death. Certain artists, though, I feel like even like the Gorillas, like
Yeah.
they don't show their faces for real. Like they're like just kind of characters.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's a disconnect from like the fan base to the artist, in a sense. Like they I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean. Like they kind of like they don't
You don't get to know them.
yeah, you don't get to know them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you really watching a video like with Poya and Fat Nick. I watched them live not too long ago. I got to go see them. You see them in a video doing whatever, and then you see them in person and stuff like that. It's
You
like
feel a connection.
feel more real too.
Yeah.
It feels like, wow, this person's really out here doing this shit.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, bro. I think it is important to get to know your fan base, and a lot of artists have become real popular with it. One of the artists I know that did it the best and kind of really turned it into a whole new thing is Wiz with Taylor Gang. He
Oh,
made
for
everybody
sure.
feel like they were a part of something. Taylor Gang wasn't just his crew; you were Taylor Gang. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
and he made people feel connected with his personality. He was one of the first artists to really do like vlogs and stuff like that, where you follow him around and you get to know the personality. So now, not are you only invested in the music, but you're invested in the human being as well. So when they do other ventures outside of music, you still want to be a part of that and follow it. You feel more connected to them, like you said.
Oh yeah, and that movement was so that movement was great, man. That it was would have been like 2000, probably 2012, 2013 for me, when I really truly started tapping into all that, because 29 or 2009, 2010 he was popping out like crazy, but I was 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
I wasn't all into that, but yeah, 13, 14, I was wearing camo cargo shorts and
Yeah.
shit, bro. The snapbacks.
Yeah.
All my friends were. We were all wearing the same shit. We were all Taylor Gang,
Yeah.
for real. And it's still TGOD. I don't even care. I'm not gonna lie. I love his music.
Yeah. No, same, bro. Love Wiz, love the music and the movement, and like I said, he was really one of the first people who showed people how to use the internet in that way, right? Not saying he was the first, but he certainly was a part of the first that really used it in that way and found a way to connect with people and make them feel like they're a part of what he's doing.
What's
So you know that you make a good point about when you have something like with the gorillas who are basically cartoon characters. They have different people sub in and out. Like if you're really into them, you know who's behind it. But if you're just a casual fan, it's hard for you to become more than that if you're just looking at that, purely from that standpoint. But if you can see the artist, you can connect with the artist. You can, you know, you can. The word escapes me, but you can feel like you can feel like you have something in common with the artist. Now you really want to support this artist in a whole different way.
Yeah, like shit. I was thinking something about Wiz, but I can't quite remember what it was.
That's okay, bro. It's the stoner in you. It'll come back for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Now, as far as inspirations go, who inspired you creatively? Like even outside of music, it doesn't even have to be music. It could be film. It could be fashion. It could be anime. It could be spiritually. Who like inspires you creatively outside of music?
So outside of music, creatively, um, I'd have to think for just a minute. It's a good question. People that do really just about anybody that does something that's like really different or out of the norm, like actors, certain actors like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was a great inspiration to like just be yourself.
Yeah.
Like that authenticity
Yeah.
really truly trumps everything else. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
100%.
Like as long as you're authentic and you're truly yourself in your art, no matter what you do, it'll be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he was I think that honestly I could say he was a big inspiration outside of music.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. No, he's definitely one of those guys who's known for being true to himself. Especially in a place where, and he's a mega star. He's
Oh, yeah.
easily recognizable anywhere he goes.
Absolutely. My name's Joel Barish, by the way, too. He actually played a character in a movie called The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and he had my name in that movie.
Did he really?
Yeah, Joel Barish was his name in that
Oh,
movie.
that's crazy.
Which
I
is
didn't
weird.
know.
Yeah, I always did think that was crazy, but
Maybe you're on the Truman Show, bro.
yeah.
Maybe this
for
is
real.
maybe this is your thing. Now, is there any influences that you've outgrown, whether it's musically or otherwise, in the process of growing as an artist? Is there any influences that you've outgrown?
Oh, for sure. I think one of them could be like Eminem. I hate to say that, but like now and like where we are now, like where he's at now in his career and shit like that. He was just a big inspiration growing up and like and now it's like I think I look at things a little differently just because of where his music went. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's like he doesn't do very much now. You know what I mean? No offense to anybody that still listens to his stuff or listens to it, but like
Yeah.
it's just different for me personally.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I got older, but
No, that's fair.
Wayne too. Because Wayne was putting out mixtapes like back to back twice a week.
Yeah.
When we were younger.
Yeah, he had a crazy pace.
And I mean, there's really no reason to not have that pace still, other than the fact that he's just rich. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just doesn't care no more.
No, and it's a tough thing too, right? Because it's a part of who you are musically, listening to these artists, and when you kind of grow away from those influences and those inspirations, it kind of feels like you're being fake to yourself a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But like you said, you grow. Those artists may grow, or maybe they don't have the same passion or hunger for whatever reason. Maybe they're getting older, or success. They don't have to be as hungry as they once were, obviously, because they're not as hungry as they once were. So it's easy to lose that connection with those artists.
I feel like as an artist too, speaking of being hungry, that's a very important thing. If you want to do whatever it is you want to do, like for a very long time or even forever, all your life, it's best to like, it's best to pace yourself with your art and with your music, and to just I don't know what it is I'm trying to say, but I did remember what I wanted to say about Wiz. He's doing Twitch streams now, which is crazy because
Okay.
he's all this time, 10 years later, he's still keeping up on the electronic shit. That was the thing I wanted to mention. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
He's still ahead of head of the
Still
curve
ahead of
on
the
in
curve.
the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do Twitch streaming soon too, depending on the legalities, because he's smoking on there like crazy all the time. But I mean, it's Wiz. But if I'm able to, I wouldn't mind doing some stoner shit on there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I smoke a lot, so I could do some impressive shit, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Now, we talked a little bit about the hunger of it and stuff like that. What do you think the hardest part of being like an independent up and coming artist? What has been some of the biggest obstacles for you on your road to musical success?
I think one of the hardest obstacles as an independent artist, like coming up and really just wanting to get your name out there, is promotion.
Yeah.
Really, is promoting yourself. You
Like
have to
how to go
really,
about it, where to put the promotional dollars, like all of that stuff.
right, and you have to really know. You just have to really know what you're doing, and you have to really want it. I think that's the main thing. Like with it, if you don't want it that bad, you're not going to be able to promote it all that much. And a big thing for me, really, to put some younger independent artists on. If you got a lot of friends and stuff like that, if you got a place where you can throw a party, I'll throw parties sometimes, and
Yeah.
just play my music.
That's a
And,
good idea, yeah.
and that's what we did at my studio too. I would hit people up, tell them, come down. If you got a bottle, bring a bottle, joint, whatever. Let's smoke, let's drink, and let's make some music. Let's make some art. You know what I mean? I'd give people paint markers and just tell them, do whatever you want on the wall, make some creative shit. Don't be drawing dicks and shit, stupid, childish shit. And it truly was, it was amazing. It was something. I'll have to show you a picture of what the wall looked like right before I left the place.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. For real.
No, for sure. That's good advice, man. That's definitely good advice to get your name out there. I mean, if you're doing it anyway, if you're hanging with the homies anyway, or if you're about to throw a little bash, a little, whatever anyway, why not promote yourself at the same time, right?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and tell them, like, look, y'all can come over and kick it, but you got to subscribe.
Yeah, real shit.
Hit the like button real quick. I'll
Why
smoke
not?
you up.
And while
Yeah, it
y'all
works
here,
out, man. It works out.
make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe and share.
Yeah, man.
Bunch of Bull Network, Marley State of Mind podcast, the world's dopest podcast, down here with Dude.
Hell yeah.
In a major way.
A lot
Hell
of good
yeah.
shit coming this year through this podcast and through the studio in general. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
through
great.
the network, man. We're always working and steady working. And I got Dude in the building with me. Make sure y'all check him out on Fridays. He does a stash account. My bad. He does a stash spot. Shout out to Stash Account though, for sure. But he does a stash spot, so make sure y'all tune into that. Now, in today's time, doing music, especially and being a personality, being on a come up, numbers and algorithm and opinions and things are always in your face. How do you stay confident when numbers, algorithms, or opinions are in your face and they're not in your favor? How do you stay confident throughout all of that?
I think the best way to stay confident throughout all that is to kind of sift through all of that, and because there will always be love, there's always gonna be somebody, and I feel like the biggest issue with people is they'll completely ignore those little bits of support for all of this negativity,
Yeah.
and but negativity just holds all that negativity. It's bad weight, you know what I mean? So just look for the love, you know what I mean? Even if it's just your mom that's like, rooting for you, that shit will keep you going if you let it, in my opinion.
And it seems like to me, I mean, and this is why the news is so successful because it seems like the negative stuff gets more attention than the positive stuff a lot of times, right?
Yeah, and it's a shame that the news is that way too, really.
But it's like just even in real life, like a lot of times you'll see artists will get all of these like even mainstream artists, they'll get all these opinions and comments from people that are positive and they're encouraging them and telling them how much they love them, and as soon as someone says something like, "Oh man, you suck," they'll respond to that. They're like, "Oh, what you said?" And all these people have been showing you love this whole time, and then one person said something to you that you didn't like, and now you want to.
And now you're responding to that.
You're responding to it, and that's why people do it sometimes, because it gets a response. That person might have told them, "I love you" 5 different times on there. You're my favorite, and they ain't see it, ain't paid attention. Then as soon as they said, "Man, you suck," now you're going in. So that's going to encourage more people to be negative.
Yep.
And it's just like it seems like it's a huge part of the internet age, the microwave age, that people feed on the negativity and so often overlook the positivity. So it's easy to get caught up in that. But like you said, it's good to take time to reflect on the positive. Is that something that you have to be conscious of?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd say I'm conscious of of everything.
Yeah,
I might not seem like it sometimes, but I am. I think a lot. But but overall, I stay positive when it comes to negativity being thrown at me. I've had it thrown at me from all directions at times, so
yeah.
it's all good. It's all good.
Now, what lesson did you learn the hard way early on?
With negativity
In general,
or in general?
in general, yeah.
Shit, in general, man. Good lesson I learned early on. Don't hang around people that don't want what you want. Like if the
Find
people,
find like-minded individuals.
absolutely, if the people around you don't want to make music, if the people around you don't want to, make money or save money or have a car or get places in life, man, they're gonna bring you down. They're gonna create ways to instill their negativity into your life. So I have sifted my way through a
That's a
lot
good
of
lesson,
people.
bro.
Thank you.
No, that's a good one. No, you're 100% right, man. They say it and it's a cliche thing, but I love cliches. If you watch the show, I love cliches. But birds of a feather stick together, and if you hang with 5 people who do this, you're bound to do it as well. You're going to be the sixth person doing that. They say it because it's true.
Yep.
So often you hang around individuals, and you'll find, rather consciously or subconsciously, you'll end up following the same pattern as they do. So if you hang around millionaires, eventually you're going to be that other millionaire. If you hang around a bunch of bums, eventually you're going to be bumming too. So
Yeah.
it is important to watch the company you keep, because it's so easy to get caught up in the day to day and what people have going on,
And it
man.
even cuts deep. They did an experiment, I think, one time where they someone wanted to see about the effects of friends, and they found out, they came to find that like 50% of the time to almost 75% of the time, people that were friends with people that had friends that had problems reverberated those issues onto those people. So even if you're friends with someone that's always coming to you and telling you, "Oh, so and so is causing me this problem, causing me that," those issues end up becoming your problem. But
Damn,
yeah, I learned that. I learned that having the studio. I learned that just having people over to my house to make music and stuff like that. Overall, it's always best to have a good crowd.
did that lesson cause you to lose like long standing friendships?
Absolutely, man. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. I don't know why that's been my word today. I've said that like 20 times. But yeah, that's happened to me over and over again. I've lost a lot of friends, but I think that there's no regret.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like any of those people watching this right now could tell, like, I'm doing better now without them in my life. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Because they were bringing me down.
Those
So
losses really were gains for you, and at the end of the day.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Now, how has making music changed how you understood yourself, or has it changed how you understood yourself?
It has changed how I understand myself. Like my lyrics at first, they definitely they started to like kind of shape how I acted, and then I realized really quick that, like, for the most part, my music wasn't something that I liked. Like I said, like those, like that secondhand embarrassment when I would hear it. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So I realized I needed to change my sound, and I did, and then I just got more comfortable with myself and like what I was doing.
you got more comfortable in the music, or you got more comfortable in general?
In general, I'd
Okay.
say in general, like it's kind of wild, like having the confidence to get on a mic in front of a few producers that I've never met before, and make a song because I paid for a session and I got to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll show up. I already paid for the session. I might be nervous. I might not be feeling myself right now, but I do it. I get it done. that builds confidence in situations outside of the music.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to look at it. It seems like you are very insightful in that way. You use experiences to build on your next experience. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's something I've learned with the music really too is like without experiences in life, your music's gonna be dull.
Yeah.
Like you asked the question earlier, like how do I go about writing now, like as compared to before?
Right.
Before it would have been throw on a beat and just start writing about whatever comes to mind. And now, actually, more recently, the what I've been doing is I'll find a beat that I like, and then I'll listen to it while I'm out and about in situations that I'm doing, things I'm doing. If I go to a party or I go hang out with friends, whatever, listen to that beat in that situation and remember things that happened to me and stuff like that, and then incorporate
that.
that into my music.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really, you're really drawing from life. That's your inspiration now.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Just drawing from life. Now, for you, what would you say is your what would you say is your most controversial music take?
So the first ever artist I ever listened to was Guru, from Gangstar, and so I really like like old school rap, like boom bap type shit. And,
Yeah.
I would like to make shit like that, and I feel like that could be controversial just because I'm me, who I am, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like it'll be good,
Yeah.
you know. And so with that being said, there could be criticism, but I think it would be for the most part just negative criticism, just like haters, you know.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it's going to be. And if it's something that's true to you, especially if it's something that's one of your early influences, like I said, even dealing with someone like Jelly Roll who grew up in Nashville, obviously has country roots. If that's what moves you, you might be drawn into that direction to do something. At least if for yourself, for your own self gratification.
Yeah.
If nothing else, if no one else even understands it or gets it, sometimes you got to do things for yourself, right? So that's I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Hell yeah.
And definitely embrace it. You know what I mean? Definitely embrace that if that's something that you want to do.
That's the plan.
If that's one of your early influences. If your music were a movie, what kind of movie would it be?
I like that. I like that question. I want to say like The Matrix.
Ooh,
Complex, deep. You know, there's a lot to.
that's a good answer. Hell yeah.
Thank you. There's a lot to unpack. You know, like I feel like one of my biggest goals with my music is like, you ever listen to a song and like you listen to it all the way through, and then as soon as it's over, you want to like replay it, and
Hell
listen
yeah.
to it again. That's
Yeah.
the kind of shit I want to make. You know, every song I want it to be something that you
That
wanna
has
listen
good
to over.
replay value.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a good goal, man. That's a good goal to look to is to want to have something that people want to listen to over and over again. Because so many times that I always say liken music to fashion, in a sense that some things are trendy, which mean they're popular for that moment in time, and then some things are long lasting fashion. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how many different brands have we seen come and go? But Levi's still
So
Levi,
many brands.
and they're still there. Levi's always going to be around.
Yeah.
You know,
Carhartt.
yeah, those are
Shit
things
like
that
that always gonna be
they're going to
around.
always be around. And other things, they come and they go, and they're hot and they're flash in the pan. So it's a thing that happens. So to have music that's timeless, that has replay value, that people want to listen to over and over again, is something to be said for that. But I do like that Matrix answer. That's a good one for sure. What's a song of yours people should listen to alone versus one they should play loud with friends?
Song to listen to alone. I haven't put this out yet, but it's called I think Cherry Blossom Wood Grain Finish. It had a long name to it, but it's a sadder song. I'll end up probably releasing that as a single for sure.
Okay.
That's something to listen to by yourself. Now together, like, y'all could bump Acid by the Sheep for real. Once I put that, I'm gonna change the name probably, but that song's good. Also Breath, That's another song that I made just recently. It's called Breath. That's a good song too.
Yeah, man.
I think I showed you guys that one.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely did. Um, Now, looking into the future, you know what I mean, looking ahead, what would success be for you? What would you consider success? Like not 5 years from now, but like right now. What would you consider? Because it's such a tough thing. Like I know I talked to it with a lot of my artist friends, and for me, I know my idea of what success looked like has changed by seeing different artists and them having different levels of success. Because there are levels to it as well.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But for you, what does that look like?
For me, really, I'll admit, like right now, I'm doing pretty good for myself, and I am thankful for where I'm at now compared to where I was when I first even started working on things and working on, like business ventures, like making the paint pours and selling the paint pours. Um, Biggest goal really would be able to just tell my parents that they don't have to work no more, get them a place to stay, if it be my house, pay that off, and then get my own place, and then just have a car to go to and from, food on the table, things like that's success for me. You know what I mean? I don't need a house with like a ton of different rooms. I don't need like, you know what I mean? I just need to be full and
Yeah.
and healthy with a roof over my head. I grew up poor. You know what I mean? I came from like a lot of rough experiences, so that's success for me. You know
Hell
what
yeah.
I mean? Being healthy for real.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to look at it, bro. What do you want the listeners to feel after hearing your music off of this upcoming project?
High. I
Yeah.
want them to feel like, uh, like the music just kind of got them fried. Like even if they're not a big smoker, you know what I mean? Like my friends, some of my hardworking friends that don't really smoke, but they still come around and they hang out with me and stuff like that. I want them to listen to it and be like, dude, that was crazy. I felt like I was tripping, even though I'm not. Like listening to that.
You want to take people on a audio trip?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real, like an audio journey. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's good, man. It's good to have that goal in mind. It seems like you are um, pretty confident in who you are as an artist, especially now, and that's a good thing to have figured out early on because a lot of times early on in the journey it's easy to get lost in trying to figure out who you are.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that you have that sense of self and understanding of self and what you're trying to create is going to make it so much easier to stick to the authenticity of who you are because you're not trying to play a character, you're just being who you are. So that's a beautiful thing, man.
Thank
for
you.
sure.
I pride myself in that really for the most part. That's just what I do is like with my music is just be myself because if I'm not, I know it's bad. You
Yeah.
know?
Now, what can we look forward? What can we look forward to, man? I know you said the projects come. You plan on a project coming out in 420. We got any singles coming up? Any videos?
So
What?
I'm gonna put a single out probably this month. It's either gonna be Paper on Paper because that song was pretty good to be for a single, and or Breath. I might just put that out early. You know what I mean? Because that's like one of my favorites on the album. It's gonna be one of my favorites on the album for sure, and I hope it to be everybody else's.
So you want to drop it as a single before the album comes out?
Yeah, I'll probably drop it as a single before the album comes out. I'll be finalizing it, mixing and mastering it this upcoming Sunday with Tucci at ID Labs. So
Nice.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that session. And when it comes to the artistry and things like that too, those record label paint pours,
Yeah.
those will be available on my Instagram soon. People can buy those if you want custom stuff made. You can have that made. And music videos, good music videos. That's a big plan too for this year. Songs that I've made prior that don't have music videos still, like with Sneezy, Young Sneezy. Shout out to him again.
What up, Sneezy?
When me and him put out some of our newer shit, I want to have some really good music videos for those. Just cinematic stuff for people to watch. big inspiration, huge inspiration of mine for real growing up too is A$AP Rocky.
Okay.
Because his music videos are hands down, in my opinion, some of the greatest when it comes to visualization. Like the trippiness, the aspect, the light, all that. It's great. It's perfect.
Dope for sure.
That's how I want my shit to be.
You want to get your visuals across in the same way.
Pretty much, yeah. I'd love to know. I'd love to speak with some of his like his film crew, you know, and like really get to know some things, like how they work their shit sometime in the future. That'd be a great talk to have for real.
You got any shows coming up? Any shows playing?
So here's another shout out. Shout out Hard Knocks Poke. Probably gonna talk to him soon about getting a show at Crossfaded Fest. We did
Okay.
Crossfaded Fest last year, and it was pretty good. So, and there was these girls that we met. I apologize, I can't remember their names, but they hang from the ceiling on ribbons and stuff. And
Okay.
they dance, and they want to perform when we perform. So they'll be performing with us. They'll be doing ribbon dancing, hanging from the ceiling while we perform. So anybody that's interested in that, we'll be definitely uploading
That's trippy.
the links to that for sure. Hell yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man, for sure. Well, hell yeah, man. I appreciate you joining me tonight. I knew it was going to be a great conversation.
For sure.
It was good getting to know you better, having a conversation with you, bro.
Fuck yeah, man. Absolutely.
And getting to hear some of your journey and your experiences. You know, if, once the project comes out, do come back and we'll promote that. We'll bump some of the new shit.
I'm excited for you guys to hear it.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm excited to hear it too, man. I know some of the stuff we heard on the trip was pretty dope. No, you were a little bit hard on it, but I think it was sounding good, and I definitely get what you were trying to push across, and I'm excited for the listeners to hear some of that as well. But anytime you got something you want to promote, man, you're welcome here to the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast, down here at a Bunch of Bull Studios. Make sure y'all check me out every Saturday at 8 o'clock. We're here with another special guest for you every time. Make sure y'all check out the Stash Spot with Dude.
Hell yeah, man.
Know what
Tune
I
in,
mean?
roll up.
Yeah, tune in,
That's
roll up.
Friday at 6, and that's Saturday at 8.
You don't like to smoke the blunts. You like to keep it natural with the.
Yeah,
with
I'm
the
all
papers and the
natural now.
bowls.
I will say though, man, I had a major blunt phase. It was like,
Yeah.
I smoked it all. Like I didn't even have a preference. It was games, backwoods, the Swisher Sweets,
Whatever rolled
albums.
up.
Whatever rolled up, bro. Yeah, straight up. I didn't even care, and I would smoke them straight too. Like I would smoke a cigar, just like
Yeah,
puff
with
on it.
no
People-
bud.
People would tell me, "You can't do that. Don't do that." I did it all the time.
You ain't get no damn. That's why you got off tobacco. You completely off tobacco now, right?
Completely off of it now, man.
Yeah.
I will say I'm proud to say that. And
Psychedelics probably
alcohol.
played a factor in that, huh?
Huge factor, man. One day I took acid and I had this pack of cigarettes to smoke for the trip, and I was probably halfway through the first cigarette, and my lungs just felt like they were collapsing, and I was like, "That's it, I'm done,"
Yeah.
and I quit. But hell yeah, man. Thank
sure.
y'all for tuning in.
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all check us out every Saturday at 8. Check out the Stash Spot every Friday. That's at 6. And this is the Bunch of Bull Network, man. Make sure y'all share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff that you say whenever you're on YouTube. Until then, we